In recent time, by-elections in Ghana have been marred with violence, with the most recent one recorded at the Ayawaso West Wogan by-election. The opposition National Democratic Congress withdrew from the elections after a shooting incident and invasion of polling stations by men purported to be from the national security apparatus. As a result of heightened tensions and costs involved in organizing the elections, some stakeholders have been pushing for political parties to nominate persons to replace their MPs who die or resign from office. But speaking to Citi News on the back of the upcoming by-elections in Kumewu, Senior Research Fellow with the Institute for Democratic Governance, Professor Kwesi Jonah, argues that it is important to follow the status quo, saying it will afford opposition parties the opportunity to test their strength.
It is a relatively safe seat for the NPP. I agree. Kumewu, they may win and so on and so forth. But don't forget, it also offers the NDC or the other parties the opportunity to test how their popularity has grown since the last parliamentary election. So the NDC may not win this by-election. Let's take, for example, that they don't win. But if they look at so many things have happened in this country since the last parliamentary elections were conducted, this by-election will give the NDC and other parties the opportunity to test just how their popularity has grown because of economic and other developments that have taken place in this country. So you just simply, and then just tell them how to prepare for the general election itself. So for me, I am telling you quite frankly that you should continue to conduct by-elections under the existing rules and regulations.
Professor Kwesi Jonah also added that it is important for attention to be given to security in the organization of by-elections. He proposed that a bipartisan approach should be adopted to douse heightened tensions during by-elections.
The major parties especially mobilize all their resources and members to make sure that they win that seat. And invariably, the ruling party is at an advantage. Why? Because they control the resources, they can promise people electricity, this and that and that and that. So there's so much tension. The election is happening on just one constituency. The NDC, the NPP will mobilize all their resources in an effort, and it creates so much tension. I think the tension argument is much stronger than the cost argument. But again, the very essence of democracy is competition. So I would say that instead of allowing the party that controls the seat to simply dominate, which will be taking competition out of democracy, let us continue to organize the by-elections as we have, but instead focus our attention on how to reduce tension. For me, the tension argument is more convincing than the cost argument. But here, what you have to do is look at ways, a bipartisan way arrangement to ensure that